I can already tell this is gonna suck a lot. Not necessarily the review, but just what I have to go through to make the review. This is a review on. Well, this is the audiobook format. It's actually misplaced novel, but a book I've listened to an audiobook and read a novel a combined time that adds up to about 127 times from start to finish since I was about 8.5 years old. Ender's Game. Author? Homophobic dickhead. Whatever. But the book is my favorite book of all time. And so in 2013, I actually have a really good knack of predicting when films are going to come out. I didn't know if you guys knew that. I picked films and games pretty well. So I got Red Dead Redemption 2, as I mentioned, stuff like that. But yeah, I predicted Ender's Game films. I've been looking for trailers month and month and months in 2013, and this was love and rolled me, so I was excited about everything back then. So I saw a trailer for Ender's Game. I'm like, Jetfires. That doesn't look like Ender's Game, but you know what? Whatever. Who cares? This looks great. I'm gonna go see this the day it comes out. I did. Now, excuse me while I go bang my head into a door for a few seconds so I can get the courage to actually do this review. Ow. I actually just hit my head into a door for a few seconds so you guys actually can hear that. Yeah. This is Ender's Game. Here we go. This will not be easy. I apologize for the lighting. It's an issue, and the iPad, the camera which I used to film was not that great, but I want to do this one sitting down. I do most of them like standing up or walking around. This one I want to do sitting down so I could check my notes more easily. Fuck, this is gonna be bad. So, alright. Let me start out with saying this. Book to film adaptations don't always work out well. You get successes like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and some say The Hobbit is a success. I have varying opinions on that. And the mixed opinions again about the Hunger Games, whatever. And then you get flops like The Golden Compass and lots of the Stephen King adaptations, which were not very good. Obviously, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining was obviously become a cult classic at this point in time, but it's not easy to get everything the author put into writing into a book. It's pretty difficult. I mean, look at when they did Children of the Corn. I mean, that book. I mean, Stephen King puts out a lot of. Literally, he can turn this into something he thinks is a villain or something scary and make a book out of it and sell it because he's fucking Stephen King. But point being, his books aside, there are some books that just need to be given some time and taken care of to make into good movies. Or, in my opinion, with this book, more than one movie. Because there's no way you can cram all this book and all this emotion that they actually did give this character a lot of emotion into this one film. But Ender's Game? I don't necessarily say films need to be rebooted about less than 5 years after they come out, but this thing needs to be redone already. It's just I want to get a good version of this out there. I want people to have a good version of this movie. Also, if you like the little additions I made to the poster in the intro, you're welcome for that. I spent about 5 minutes in Bazaar, got some fired some devil horns for people I think need the devil horns in this movie. Anyway, not as bad as the Golden Compass and Children of the Corn, but not as good as Harry Potter and Book to Film Adaptations. Anyway, this is Ender's Game. Let's get started. So, first thing off, this is both a good and a bad thing. It's surprising. This film had a really good cast. I'm going to list off some of the cast members, just a few, and what movies they were in. Asa Butterfield played Hugo in the film Hugo, which is critically acclaimed, great movie. I actually enjoyed the saw in theaters. Bruno in the Boys Striped Pajamas. I never actually saw that one. It's a Holocaust film. He also played Jake in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It came out in 2016. It's been a long time. Damn. Okay. Yeah. So he's had Asa Butterfield. He was, I think, like 15 when he acted in this movie. See, in the book, Ender is 6, but you can't get a 6-year-old actor to understand what genocide is. And it's like, hope you can't. Please don't try. Anyway, you get Harrison Ford, American Graffiti, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, 42. In fact, his grumpy old character is very similar to when he played in 42. So look, if you ever watch the film, pay attention for that. Yeah. He plays Hiram Graff, by the way, the person in charge. Not really the person in charge. He's more of a he's a colonel and a general. I think in the book, with demoted court martial, all this sort of stuff. He's basically in charge of Ender. And a few other very bright children, such as Bean and Petra, who gets in a minute, and Asa Butterfield plays Ender, who does the best he can with really shitty writing. Not books writing. Books writing is brilliant. But what the writers of this film did, they just fucked everything up to no end. Anyway, they got Haley Steinfeld. Haley Steinfeld, and not Seinfeld. That's not her name. Haley Steinfeld. There we go. From films, she played, I guess, Emily Junk in Pitch Perfect 2 and 3. Who also ended up with the person I forget his name in Pitch Perfect 3. Not ended up with, but the person who played Bonzo Madrid ended up as a character in Pitch Perfect 3. So, interesting. Yeah. We got Viola Davis, or Viola Davis, or Viola Davies, however you want to pronounce her name. She's a main character in How to Get Away with Murder, the show. She was in the unfortunate film Suicide Squad. I don't want to do that. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to have to review that. Oh, God. This has made me even more depressed, and we haven't really started the actual review yet. Okay, whatever. Anyway, we got Ben Kingsley. He's a great actor. He's not been in a lot of films I've seen, but I know he's a very good actor. He's actually a very good actor in this film, although he's given very little to do for the character he has in the book. I don't know. He's a teacher. He's Mason Rackham, who serves, I guess, the hero of the second invasion, the one before this current invasion. Yeah, the book's about supposed invasion, but in it's called the Formics. And the world's gonna. I guess the whole kind of thing is like attack them before they can attack us. Spoiler alert! It's not spoiling anything. These books have been out for a while now, over 30 years, I think, and then the movie's been out for 5 years. They're not trying to really attack. They're just trying. They had nothing planned until the until the humans try to attack them again. And so yeah, he plays Mason Rackham, the teacher. He serves Ender's teacher after he gets to command school, to battle school, which is a whole other setup. Another thing they fucking ruined. Oh god, because he's way too friendly in the movie. In the book. It's very clear that they are not friends, and they're not meant to be friends at all. And their first encounters for first week of him trapped in his room ends with physical violence, and that's how it's supposed to end. In that first encounter, they made it. I'm too sorry. You can't really have Ben Kingsley fighting Asa Butterfield. It doesn't work, but still, they made him way too friendly. They weren't friends, but they were friendly. In the book, I made it painfully clear that this character's only here to teach Ender. Anyway, yeah, Ben Kingsley's been. He played Bagheera in the Disney reboot of the Jungle Book. That's actually very good. And Trevor Slattery in Iron Man 3. Well, okay, one of the good things are to say about this movie. Okay, the special effects are fucking brilliant. So I will say that. The special effects in this movie are absolutely good. It's brilliant. The way they do zero gravity, even if they made the battle room not at all like it is in the book, I don't really mind that. I do mind they don't show enough battle. I guess it would be a bit tedious, but also they didn't show two of the armies Ender was in. They didn't show. They showed Rat. No, they didn't show Rat. They showed Salamander. Did not show Rat, and they didn't show Phoenix, and that pissed me off for one reason. He learned responsibility of commanding as a tuning leader before he actually became an actual commander in Phoenix Army under the leadership of Petrarch Kanyan, and that leadership. They did refer to that a few times in the book, is why also after he only ever beats one army in the Battle of the Dragon. That doesn't make any sense in the film. Yeah, the whole thing was he's perfect. He went for a streak of perfect battles that they'd never been seen before. In the book, they can't have like 7+ battles in a movie without dragging it out for fucking ever. But they could at least show that he's had more than just that one battle before he gets sent off to command school. Like, what? Oh, also, you know how books normally have the main overarching story, if it's simple, and then if it's a little bit more complex, we'll have a second story. This one had one where Valentine and his brother Peter, who are actually just as smart as him, if not actually smarter, especially in Valentine's case, used the nets to basically get into enough power over Peter to take over the world. Hegemony. That's what happened. That is what he died as the creator of peace. The violent Peter Wiggin was the creator of peace, and the whole point of that is that Ender he committed genocide. But even without knowing it, he did commit genocide. He wiped out basically the entire race of the Formics, or in the book they're called the Buggers, but we're politically correct now, so we can't say that. Fun. No, seriously though, where did this entire other plotline go? It was a really good part of the story too. And the way the book bounces back between their point of view on Earth, Peter and Valentine, how Peter kind of ropes Valentine into helping him, even though they really do hate each other. There's some of the sarcastic comedy bits in that. It's a great storyline. Although honestly, you know what? Come to think of it, I'm glad it's not in the movie, because they would have found some way to fuck it up so badly you would not believe. They do that with a lot of things in this movie. Yes, to keep the overarching plot the same, and honestly, they could have separated it into two films, like up until Salamander and then after Salamander, I guess, or maybe even Phoenix separated before Phoenix or before Dragon, because there's a lot more stuff after that. There's him going back to visit Valentine in the lake, which doesn't make a lot of sense, I guess, without the second plot. Him doubting himself. There's a lot more emotional stuff that you can't really show what he's thinking. In the audio commentary of this book for Orson Scott Card, the 10th disc is audio commentary, and part of it deals with the movie that they're trying to make at that time. I don't know if it was the same one or not. But the thing about that is that he said that you can't really have Ender's thoughts playing through his head. You could have like a voice of what Ender's thinking, but that's just stupid. But really, you can show emotional depth in movies. And honestly, I think the one thing they do really play almost to perfection here is when Ender realizes that he's been tricked into killing an entire species. Even though that's what he's been trained to do the entire time, it just tears him apart. Not quite to the same extent where it does in the book. Do not disturb mode on. We actually getting text about who was actually talking to someone about this review earlier, and that's the person texting me. But I'll take the text in a minute. Let's finish the review. And so, in the book, like he literally goes back and just passes out in his bunk in his quarters for it could have been weeks or whatever he said. It's a long time. Like he wakes up, the needles in his arm, he doesn't have the strength to remove them, stuff like that. This book just kind of explodes. They do not show the bitter ending that he gets with Petra, which is explained in Ender in Exile. The most recent, real time, it fits in right after Ender's Game, but before Sleep of the Dead. But it's a Speaker for the Dead. Sorry, but it was written early 2000s, I think. It was written fairly recently. It's called Ender in Exile. It's a really good book. It's Ender's Game is I think my favorite book in the series. Ender in Exile is my second favorite. The rest of them are just okay. And he honestly. He makes a joke that's pretty benign, but it looks kind of, I guess, they don't end on a happy note, Ender and Petra. And unlike in the fucking movie, alright, they are not a thing. They're not a couple okay, so to be fair, it's difficult to put Hailee Steinfeld on screen and not have her be romantic, at least slightly, with somebody in the cast, in the movie. But in the book, Ender gets there to battle school when he's 6 years old, and Petra's a little bit older. But it's Orson Scott Card said in the commentary that he did not want it to be a romance film, which I'm glad it's not. I mean, in the book series, she goes out to marry, I guess, with Bean, who then dies from gigantism, sadly. I don't remember which order it was. She also marries Peter. The whole point is that she never gets her life fulfilled because both men. Bean dies from gigantism, and Peter dies from failing heart. She outlived both her husbands. And she's 12 kids were stolen from her, scattered across the galaxy. She gets most of them back. Some of them die for gigantism, some of them don't. I think it's 12 kids. It's 9 or 12. It's a lot of kids. And one of them tries to go Ender. And yeah. Also, Bean's real name is Julian Delphigi, by the way. They don't bring that up anywhere in the actual books. I guess that's why it's not in the film. And the way they said they had it adapted was to have Ender's Shadow, which focuses more on Bean. It's in the same timeline as Ender. as Ender's Game. It's a different book, but focuses on Bean's story from when he was growing up on the streets and stuff like that. It's at the same time as Ender, so it's all the same events through Bean's eyes. And they wanted to adapt both films into one, which I think is a good idea because you get Bean's part of the story, you get more empathy for him. They introduced him way too early. They introduced him in Ender's launch group, which is a bit of a problem. They also never really showed his extra practice sessions that got banned and got a lot of controversy for the rest of the entire school when he was banned by Bonzo Madrid for practicing with the army and he wanted to practice to get traded. They take out a lot of elements that would make this such a good story. I don't mind if it's in two movies several years apart, if I have to wait. That's fucking fine. I just want an Ender's Game book movie or book movies that do this great novel some justice. Really, I do. It's just... Anyway, that's the unfortunate fucking mess that was Ender's Game. Thanks for watching. As you probably already know, I am not the greatest at remembering things while I'm on camera. I forgot to mention why the cast is a good and a bad thing. Most of the time, most of the cast, especially Viola Davis and Harrison Ford, are lifeless pieces of shit. You have such a great cast, great talent, and you waste most of them. Hailee Steinfeld as Petra was brilliant. Yeah, she played the anger, the kind of anger. She played determination really, really well. And when she's required to, she's a great actress to do that type of role. Asa Butterfield's Ender was pretty good himself. I could see him as being smart and intelligent, but also not the strongest guy in the room, which is good because they made him like a really strong teenager. Because they had to, as I said, he couldn't play as a 6-year-old, like an actual 6-year-old. Come on, the guy commits genocide. You don't want to put a 6-year-old to understand what that is. Well, actually have to do it anyway. It would have been fucking terrible. But those two played it really well, and they did really well with the shitty lines they're given. Harrison Ford retained his grumpy guy role from 42, and made it worse and more lifeless and bland. And they did a great job of making him look very fat in this movie. I mean, he was, but, like, to be fair, in the book he's written as a fat, sour old man in the second part of the film because he gets tired. But they did that, actually, that's pretty funny. They, in fact, actually put that part in, but no other part of his character is there. No other part. The rest of it's just fucked up. And I don't mind the fact they made Major Anderson a woman. I don't really care. That character was interesting. But they took away a lot of the freaking smart-ass humor that made the banter between Anderson and Graff, Harrison Ford's character, so funny. Especially on the audiobook commentary listen to. It's just... Because it's different people doing the voices, of course, for all the different characters. Well, at least for, there's, like, one for Petra... sorry. In the book, there's like one for Valentine, so that, and like, but there's one for Major Anderson. There's one for Colonel General Hiram Graff, and there's them arguing back and forth, like debating, like, is he the one? Is he not the one? Blah 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 blah, and then making funny little jokes. This is one to make a joke about football because I think it's Anderson after saying like, oh, after seeing boys fly around in football is like watching watching a bunch of slugs bashing each other. I agree. I don't think football's actually all that interesting. Football, soccer is cool, but American football is just meh for me, honestly. But yeah, if they could have made Viola Davis funny like that, and not just like blah 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 blah, I'm in charge of you, blah blah blah, I'm gonna put you as a pole mark, whatever type character. Because that's what he was. He was funny, but in the book, he was he was a pain in the ass, but he was funny. He was dry humor, and that's some of the cast is missing because they're missing the characters, are missing the things that make them characters. As usual, I forgot something in the main recording. I want to bring this up here. There were some very odd promotional items. There's just, of course, sweepstakes for the trip to the Kennedy Space Center or whatever. It's a space film. Anything to tie that in. But, I got a list of some here. Two main ones, really. There was a board game that was basically you control either Ender's army or or Bonzo's army. I probably should have one of them. I actually might do character analysis on Benito de Madrid or Bonzo Madrid. Honestly, to be fair, in the movie, they don't really say, they like, oh yeah, he's dead, whatever. But in the book, I think it's somewhere along the lines of, and doesn't know about the other passengers in the ship, the one traveling home in a body bag. Yeah, he killed Bonzo. He absolutely killed him. Anyway, Point being, to control either a dragon army or salamander army and fight your way through the battle room to enemy's gate by freezing other people. I don't know exactly. I don't know. It's a board game. It's Ender's Game. Battle room. Sure, why not? And the more odd one is, guys, you guys know Icy, right? The drinks, like the frozen drinks you can buy at like gas stations, kind of like Slurpees but not, or like Slushies but not. There were icy flavors called, let me check this. I think it was called like Battle School Blastberry and Orbital Orange. What? I don't even. This is. It's Ender's Game when you made a drink flavor? Anyway, I am actually done with this review now. That is it. On that note, I've got nothing to top that. Goodbye.